In the other crucial development, the United Nations General Assembly has backed a resolution drafted by Ukraine and the European Union condemning Russia on the third anniversary of its full-scale invasion, spurning a rival US resolution reflecting Donald Trump's split with Europe and growing union with Putin. In fact, the United States, Russia, Belarus and North Korea voted against the resolution as 93 countries voted in favor. In a win for Ukraine on the third anniversary of Russia's invasion, the United States failed to get the UN General Assembly to approve its resolution, urging an end to the war without mentioning Moscow's aggression. And the Assembly approved a dueling European-backed Ukrainian resolution demanding Russia immediately withdraw from Ukraine. So as I mentioned, 93 voted in favor. India and China abstained from voting. US and Russia voted against the resolution. Jessica Stone joins us live from Washington with a roundup of all that's been happening. Jessica, we're seeing an extraordinary shift in US policy since Donald Trump's election. Sharp divides on display between Europe and the US when it comes to resolving the war. Take us through all the latest developments.
Yeah, a lot of division on display, both in Washington at the White House and at the United Nations up there in New York City. Let's begin with the division in the White House. You outlined a lot of the differences between Macron and U.S. President Donald Trump when it comes to Ukraine. During the Oval Office, you saw Macron correct Trump's assertion that the U.S. was giving grants while the Europeans were giving loans. Then during the press conference, which you see there, Macron warned that reaching peace must not mean surrendering Ukraine, a stark warning there, and again emphasizing that he would call Russia the aggressor here. He also added that Europe must provide more security guarantees to Ukraine, which is certainly something that the White House is looking for. Then dueling drafts at the same time at the United Nations in New York City, many dueling drafts, not just the one in front of the General Assembly, but one in front of the UN Security Council later in the day, basically outlining two different approaches to this war and to what it is and what it is not. And the Europeans, again, emphasizing that Russia is the aggressor, the US not signing on to that version of events, instead opting for a clean version of just calling for an end to the war. And when pressed to justify that, particularly in light of the second vote at the UN Security Council, the United States said, we just want a clean version. We want to make sure that the war ends, and we want to start with something clean and narrow in terms of doing that. So definitely a different chapter in U.S. positioning when it comes to Ukraine. We'll see if this strategy works as we move through the talks.